Celestina Iria is standing by now to bring us updates on what's going on there. Celestina, good morning. It's a great morning, I must say. I know how tiring it has been monitoring the whole process. We spoke yesterday when the process was going to start, and since then it's been, following up on all of the developments. What's the situation this morning?
Well, my activity is Sunday normal. Today is Sunday, so the Christians in the state are heading to their various churches. We are yet to hear anything concerning collation or results, because usually collation, judging from when it starts during the presidential elections, usually start late. So we're expecting that from maybe 12 noon today, we will hear a collation start. But so far, so good during the election process here. There was people, massive voter turnout, more women than men. People came out to cast their ballots. We didn't get any form of fracas or scuffle between INEC personnel and voters. Security men did their job very well, because we monitored major polling units in Sokoto South. So from what we gathered, the Sokoto South, the polling units visited, which were working, INEC personnel got there on time. The presiding officer did a very good job, and the process was very quick. And also, we also got information from other local governments in the state. We didn't hear anything of anybody got killed or anybody got harassed. But all of these things may happen, but we'll get to hear if we have any sort of electoral violence during the collation of the results, where the collation officers will let us know, okay, for this particular word, this occurred or this did not occur. But so far, so good, we haven't had any plans to voter inducement or vote buying whatsoever in Sokoto State.
I recall yesterday when we spoke in the morning, the queues were on already. We saw the queue for women, we saw the queues for men, and the queues for women was was already longer than the one for men. It was really interesting, that report from Sokoto that you did. Now, talk to us about the beavers. We heard and we saw from various reports that the beavers at this election was an improvement on what we saw at the presidential election. Was that the same thing that you saw throughout the places that you monitored yesterday?
Absolutely, Mike. I think INEC during this governorship election changed the narrative, because a lot of mismanagement of lack of arrangements happened during the presidential elections. So because during the presidential election in Sokoto State, some beavers did not work, while some polling units and some local governments did not even allow the INEC officials to use the beavers. They insisted on using the voters register. And sometimes uploading the result, the beavers, they will have internet connectivity issue. But so far, so good. During this election, I think INEC is strategized. They look at where they had lapses during the presidential election, and did things better. Talked about the queues for women being longer than that of men. Yes, absolutely. The women came out to take massively in this election, though we did not have any woman as a contender during the governorship election. All the states asked for assembly election. They came out to cast their vote. But one thing we noticed is that though they participate in voting, they did not participate as aspirants or candidates. But another thing is, when we try to talk to them, having an interview, they really did shy away from talking to us. But they just want, most of them, that's all of accuracy, just go to their polling as early as 6 a.m. We see some sitting on the ground, the children, the elderly, the pregnant women, and I'm also commending heavy officers for some of the polling we visited. They gave preference to the elderly and also preference to the pregnant women. And because the queues have to be separated, that of men and that of women have to be separated because of the religious background of the state, they really focused their attention on the women who are elderly and also the men who are elderly. The youth also got their chance to cast their ballot, but after the elderly vote, actually cast their ballot.
It's quite interesting to know that. Now, talk to us today. What's the level when it comes to collation of results from the various local government? What's happening now? What's the state of things now?
Okay, those some voting found late, while others were collating, some were sorting, some people were also voting, but we spoke to the deciding officers, the polling was very fast to back. He said voting stopped by 2:30, That is people coming in to queue on the line, stuff like that. But because of the massive turnout, people that were already on the queue had to wait like 7 p.m. before they cast their ballot. Usually, some of the local governments will have they're very far from themselves coming to the state capital. It will take some time. So we're hoping today collation will start. And Sokoto is a very large state. We have about 6 million people in the state, and over 2 million other people were accredited voters. Why 2 million PVCs were collected? Just about 74,000 PVCs that were not collected. And we could see that they had massive turnouts during the election yesterday. So because of the 23 local governments, the distance from themselves, collation will start a bit late. So we're hoping today we'll speak to INEC, the PRO of INEC, to hear from him. And I'd like him to know that we know that the INEC, the Electoral Commissioner of this state, of Sokoto State, was actually removed. We didn't know why he was removed. I don't know if maybe because of irregularities that happened during the presidential election that led to the cancellation of 491 polling units. And during the collation of that presidential election, I asked him a question. I said, sir, okay, we have about 471 polling units cancelled, which led to about 3,000 votes. What is going to happen in that polling unit? Maybe a supplementary election or a re-election. He said no, that they will look at the electoral act appropriately. After he said that, he was declared and sent to Abuja. But majorly the campaign budget of the PDP and the APC then at the presidential election raised objection as to why would Sokoto indicate be disenfranchised to violence. INEC need to have done something different. But we didn't know if maybe all those regularity transformed into or translated into why he was removed and the national commissioner was brought in. And the INEC office there is being managed by the administrative secretary, depending when a new rep will be brought in. But so far, so good. We're hoping that very soon collation will commence and we'll be able to give up these results.
All right, Celestina Iria, thank you very much for bringing us up to speed on that. We'll certainly keep a tab on how things are moving there at the moment the processes continue. Thank you very much.